We checked out of the hotel in Rome and headed to town for a guided tour. The Museo del Mura, in English called Museum of the Walls, is an archaeological museum in Rome. The museum provides a detailed history of wall construction in Rome and the surrounding areas, with information going back to one constructed in Ardea to the southeast of Rome in the 8th century. It describes the construction methods of the first Roman wall, built by Servius Tullius, the legendary 6th king of Rome, the second wall constructed in the 4th century BC after invasion of Rome by the Gauls, and the Aurelian walls, constructed in the 3rd century AD. The Servian Wall was an ancient Roman defensive barrier constructed around the city of Rome in the early 4th century BC. The wall was built of volcanic tuff and was up to 10 meters in height in places and 3.6 meters wide at its base, 11 kilometers long, and is believed to have had 16 main gates, of which only 1 or 2 have survived, and enclosed a total area of 610 acres. In the 3rd century AD it was superseded by the construction of the larger Aurelian walls as the city of Rome grew beyond the boundary of the Servian Wall. By the 3rd century AD, the boundaries of Rome had grown far beyond the area enclosed by the old Servian Wall, built during the Republican period in the late 4th century BC. Rome had remained unfortified during the subsequent centuries of expansion and consolidation due to lack of hostile threats against the city. The citizens of Rome took great pride in knowing that Rome required no fortifications because of the stability brought by the Pax Romana and the protection of the Roman army. However, the need for updated defenses became acute during the crisis of the 3rd century, when barbarian tribes flooded through the Germanic frontier and the Roman army struggled to stop them. Aurelian's walls were as an emergency measure, as a reaction to the barbarian invasion of 270 AD. The walls were built in the short time of only 5 years, though Aurelian himself died before the completion of the project. As much as a sixth of the walls is estimated to have been composed of pre-existing structures. An area behind the walls was cleared and sentry passages were built to enable it to be reinforced quickly in an emergency. Parts of the wall were doubled in height by Maxentius in 308 AD, who also improved the watchtowers. In 401 AD, under Honorius, the walls and the gates were improved. At this time, the tomb of Hadrian across the Tiber was incorporated as a fortress in the city defenses. In the 9th century, Pope Leo IV announced that Vatican City needed walls to protect it from the Saracen pirates who were pillaging southern Italy. This is the map of Rome showing the 7 hills of Rome, shown in pink, the Servian Wall and its gates shown in blue, the Aurelian walls which were constructed in the 3rd century AD shown in red. These are the ruins of the Palatine Hill. It is a huge open-air museum on a massive hill. It is the Flavian Palace, or at least what's left of it. Palatine Hill is the most central of the 7 hills around which the city of Rome was founded. The hill was also known as the place where the city itself was born and where the Roman Empire would eventually expand from. We completed the guided tour of Rome and now we enter the Vatican from the Viale Vaticano entrance. We had to stand in line for hours to get the tickets to visit the Vatican Museum. Keep in mind the following before visiting the Vatican. Short skirts, sleeveless shirts and shorts are not allowed. Make sure that tickets are purchased beforehand from online sites. The statue of Belvedere torso. The statue of Apollo Belvedere. The Vatican Museums display works from the immense collection amassed by the Catholic Church and the papacy throughout the centuries, including several of the most well-known Roman sculptures and most important masterpieces of Renaissance art in the world. The museums contain roughly 70,000 works, of which 20,000 are on display. Modern Bramante spiral stairs of the Vatican Museums, designed by Giuseppe Momo in 1932. The Gregorian Egyptian Museum was founded by Pope Gregory XVI in 1839 and is part of the Vatican Museums. It was designed by Luigi Ungarelli, one of the first Italian Egyptologists, and houses a vast collection of finds from ancient Egypt including mummies, papyri, hieroglyphic inscriptions, the Book of the Dead. The treasures contained in the museum are part of the papal collection that began in the 17th century, to which were added in time finds found around Rome. The museum extends in 9 rooms. Most of the material comes from the Hadrian's Villa, in Tivoli, while the last 2 houses works of ancient Mesopotamia and Assyria. The statue of Antinous, that was found in a villa near Palestrina. The statue of Ceres was formerly displayed in the courtyard of the Apostolic Chancery. The statue of Emperor Hadrian, from Hadrian's mausoleum also known as San Angelo. The statue of Emperor Galba, found below the Aurelian walls. The statue of Emperor Claudius, as Emperor of Rome between 37 AD to 54 AD. The 4 Raphael rooms in the Apostolic Palace, now is part of the Vatican Museums. They are famous for their frescoes, painted by Raphael in his workshop. Together with Michelangelo's Sistine Chapel ceiling frescoes, they are the grand fresco sequences that mark the High Renaissance in Rome. The Gallery of Maps is a gallery of painted topographical maps of Italy based on drawings by friar and geographer Ignazio Danci. It took Danci 3 years, 1580 to 1583, to complete the 40 panels of the 120 meters long gallery. The Sistine Chapel, papal chapel in the Vatican Palace that was erected in 1473 to 1481 by the architect Giovanni de' Dolci for Pope Sixtus IV, hence its name. It is famous for its Renaissance frescoes by Michelangelo. We then visited the St. Peter's Basilica. After the crucifixion of Jesus, it is recorded in the biblical book of the Acts of the Apostles that one of his 12 disciples, Simon known as St. Peter, a fisherman from Galilee, took a leadership position among Jesus' followers and was of great importance in the founding of the Christian Church. The name Peter is Petrus in Latin and Petros in Greek. After a ministry of 34 years, Simon known as St. Peter traveled to Rome and met his martyrdom there along with Paul on 13th of October 64 AD during the reign of the Roman Emperor Nero. His execution was one of the martyrdom of Christians following the Great Fire of Rome. According to Jerome, Peter was crucified head downwards. The crucifixion took place near an ancient Egyptian obelisk in the Circus of Nero. The obelisk now stands in St. Peter's Square and is revered as a witness to Peter's death. The Madonna della Pietà, informally known as La Pietà, is a marble sculpture of Jesus and Mary at Mount Golgotha representing the sixth sorrow of the Blessed Virgin Mary by Michelangelo. The sculpture captures the moment when Jesus, taken down from the cross, is given to his mother Mary. The statue was restored after the figure of Mary was vandalized on Pentecost Sunday of 1972 by a mentally disturbed man. It is now protected by a bulletproof glass screen. Swiss Guards, Italian Guardia Svizzera, Swiss soldiers responsible for the safety of the Pope, often called the world's smallest army. They serve as personal escorts to the Pontiff and as watchmen for Vatican City and the Pontifical Villa of Castel Gandolfo. We then headed to our bus that was parked in an underground parking. Castel Sant'Angelo, the Castle of Angels, is an eye-catching cylindrical fortification built on the banks of the Tiber River by Roman Emperor Hadrian in the 2nd century AD. Originally commissioned as a mausoleum for Hadrian and his family, it was later used as a fortress and castle by the popes. Then we headed towards the Basilica of St. Francis of Assisi, which was 173.6 kilometers and took us around 2 hours and 16 minutes. This is the Down Church of Assisi and this is the Up Church or the Basilica of St. Francis of Assisi. The Basilica of St. Francis of Assisi, in Italian called Basilica di San Francesco d'Assisi, is the mother church of the Roman Catholic Order of Friars Minor Conventual in Assisi, a town in the Umbria region in central Italy, where St. Francis was born and died. The basilica, which was begun in 1228, is built into the side of a hill and comprises two churches, known as the Upper Church and the Lower Church, and a crypt, where the remains of the saint are interred. The interior of the Upper Church is an important early example of the Gothic style in Italy.
The entrance to the University of Theology. There you can see the symbol of St. Francis with the hand of St. Francis and the hand of Jesus Christ. So it's here that we may just 1 second. Speak about St. Francis. Here is St. Francis. Here is the entrance to the Lower Church, where the tomb of St. Francis is, where he was buried as soon as he dies. You know that he was canonized only 2 years after his death, in 1228. 2 years after only his death, 1228, we have the building of the church, but 1228 is also the period of his canonization. So he will be canonized only 2 years after his death, because of the special life he spent. He was seen as a very, a holy person. He was started to help the people, help the poorest, the ill people that normally were isolated from the rest of of the society. He started to take care of them. He started to share within his life, his goods, all his clothes. So he abandoned richness to follow poverty to help poor people. So the church you see is made of two churches. You'll find a lower basilica, you'll find an upper basilica. The upper church is where you find the beautiful frescoes made by Giotto, a very important Italian painter of the end of the 1200s. While here in the lower part, you find many other frescoes, but mainly you find the tomb, one floor down, the crypt where every year pilgrims come to pray and find the body in the tomb above the little altar of the crypt, one floor down. Going in on the left, the main nave, the floor down to reach the crypt, and the way out from the opposite side of the flight. So those two are the ones, the comparison between him and Jesus. And so the oldest portrait of St. Francis picture on it, on this scaffolding, I show you which is considered the most important portrait of St. Francis and the oldest one and the most realistic one in life that could tell him how he was and how he looked like. So it's for this reason that
Saint Francis was buried in the 13th century. Saint Francis of Assisi devoted his life to the poor. The son of a wealthy cloth merchant from the Umbrian town of Assisi, he rejected his own comfortable upbringing to help those in need. In 1224 it is said he received the stigmata, making him the first person to bear the 5 wounds of Christ. He died in 1226 and was made a saint 2 years later. The body of Saint Francis was placed in a bronze urn and buried in a stone crypt in his hometown. Then we headed to our hotel, Viole Country Hotel e Ristorante, which was about 20 minutes away.